Who's at the door, Matthew? Oh.
No, Erik, please don't. I was standing alone. The entire class was filled with laughter and chatter. As soon as the midst of it, quiet and alone. It was strange seeing the whole world pass in front of me with such vibrancy, all the while I stood there. On the plus side, I wasn't engaged with any of the drama that might have arisen, like us scribbling on someone's paper for revenge or kicking someone too hard. It was kind of nice just standing back and watching things pass by and life go on. I had long before convinced myself I prefer being alone. I often said to myself in encouragement, yeah, I want to be alone. There's no one I like better than me, so I have to spend myself more time with myself. But there was a certain bitterness that, coupled with being alone, made me feel so sad. There was a difference between being alone and lonely. I just didn't realize it in that moment. And after that moment, my father, my mother, there was no one to turn to. I was so lonely. That's when I decided on it right then. I was going to see my grandfather. I didn't care if my father wouldn't take me. I was going to walk my way over to see him, to see what he had to say about it. I had never met him since before that, but what better time to see him then? No one else was going to help me with what I was feeling. I might as well have turned to him. So after school, I decided to walk there. I had no idea how to get there, as I was armed only with a scrap of paper with the address scribbled on it. As a 7-year-old, I obviously had great ideas. I soon became lost, and like I always did when I felt lost, I stood there on the sidewalk, back pressed against the wall, looking at the strangers passing by. And like always, people continued to pass and life continued on. I was sadder than ever. I ended up in the situation I was originally in. Nothing had changed. I thought that it was silly of me to even think I could change it with my own hands. That was until a voice brought me back to reality.
Hun, is that you?
I looked up and saw an unfamiliar face, but it was obvious that whoever was talking to me knew who I was. From that moment, things began to change. My life moved into rusty joints and realized that things were moving along. Suddenly, I became part of a crowd that was moving like a blur past me. I was no longer somebody who stood still and watched others hurry past me. Life had changed. I had changed. Because of that very person who found me that day was my grandfather. I had the opportunity to help them, though would I? I wanted to, but I wasn't exactly sure what was the best idea. After all, 5 demons in my house wasn't exactly a living arrangement that I had imagined when I would first move in. There was a matter of making sure no one found out about their powers. Thinking about them as lab rats made my stomach queasy. And even if they passed for humans, how would they explain having guys living in my house? Imagine my friends coming over. They would practically think I was part of a harem or something. Oh god, imagine if my parents came over. I think my mom would faint. Who knows what my dad would do? I think he would have them arrested on the spot. Ugh, this is so hard. Maybe I should have just written all the pros and cons on a list before actually having to make a decision.
Don't worry too much about it. You have plenty of time to decide. Besides, you should do what makes you happy as well.
It was strange that I happened to remember what my grandfather said to me when I was little, but it kind of made sense. They weren't exactly in the same situation I was in before, but I did want to help out. I think it would ease my conscience and also make me a bit happy to give them help. As weird as that sounded. Clenching my hands into a fist, I strengthened my resolve to speak up. Well, you could...
What was that, lovely lady?
Holy fuck, I think I have to romance Erik first. That is,
Spit it out already.
You could stay with me here if you like. As soon as I finished my sentence, the room became still. I'm not sure what went through their heads from my words, but the silence in the air cut like a knife until I finally spoke up once more. It seemed like you need a place to stay, and well, I just moved into this giant house, so it seems to make sense. It was still quiet in the room. I decided to keep talking. If you would like to stay here, though, there are 2 things I need all of you to follow.
Yes?
First of all, you can't use your powers or deliberately something that might harm me or any guest that comes over. Well, save for enemies. But you get the drift.
That sounds reasonable.
Second, you have to help me with any errands around the house. This place is kind of big, so yeah.
That is a generous offer, miss. Are you sure that would be okay? We don't wish to burden you any more than we already have.
It's alright, really. I mean, I just started living here myself, so I would appreciate some help around the house.
A wonderful idea. We'll live here and train while helping you with the house. Servants for the lovely princess.
Oh my god.
What? Are you serious?
Shh, be quiet, Sam. I haven't slept in a bed for days.
They all seemed to like the idea except for Sam, and hey, I didn't really hate the idea either, even if they were incubi. It would be interesting having 5 guys help me with taking care of the house, given they would follow the rules that I have just laid down.
Grr, fine, but we're not staying here forever. Only until we can beat up that group of punks.
Okay, I just need to say this right now. Has anybody watched the anime or read the manga, Fruit Baskets? Because Sam reminds me of Kyo. I'm not even joking right now. And Kyo was my favorite. Oh my god. And he was like Ayame, and James reminds me of like, oh damn, what was his name? The mouse. I already forgot. It's been a while since I watched it, but that's who they remind me of.
I think that is a reasonable time limit for our stay.
Yes, this is awesome.
Also beautiful. If you need a bedfellow.
Oh my god, stop.
Erik, knock it off.
I was happy that they agreed. Maybe it was because I wasn't going to be lonely for a while. Maybe it was because they all needed my help and wanted to help people was fulfilled. I would never be sure.
So what are we waiting for? Let's celebrate and dig in.
Finally, I'm starving.
Instantly, Matthew and Sam began to stuff themselves with food on the table. I noticed James' eyes twitching in an irritation, so I stifled my incoming laugh.
Really, you two? You're both acting like pigs.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, let them have a little freedom, James. It's not like we've eaten recently either. I'm sure they've been starving.
Still, that's no excuse for stuffing their faces like backyard swine.
I almost couldn't hold it in. So I... You know what? I'm gonna laugh. I don't care. Sorry, you know what? That's it. I decided I'm gonna romance Erik first. I'm gonna do this playthrough like over again, but I'm gonna romance the other characters. But my first one's gonna be Erik. I don't care anymore, man. I couldn't hold my laughter anymore. As I laughed, Matthew and Sam looked my way, faces stuffed.
Is something funny?
What are you laughing at?
I stopped to catch my breath. I leaned over the table and took a few breaths before replying. You both are so funny. Both of their faces turned slightly pink. They looked away from me, and they swallowed their food in their mouths.
Shut up! We're not funny. We're hungry.
You're cute.
Well, we're glad that we made you laugh.
Shut up, Matthew!
What? I'm just saying.
See, James, it's entertainment for her.
Sorry, James. They were funny to me. At least they enjoyed the food. As I watched, I took a couple of pieces of food myself and placed them on my plate before eating as well. Eventually, we all ate dinner together. It was strange eating with just guys, but they were enjoyable to be around. They made me feel as a part of a family as we ate together. However, our peace was soon disturbed. Huh? It's my mom. Excuse me. Hello?
Hey, honey, how are you? I'm sorry I didn't get to see you off.
Hi, Mom. Everything's fine. I'm actually eating dinner right now.
Oh, good, good. So there was food there. Well, your father wanted me to call and talk to you about having a house party tomorrow night.
Oh, God.
Celebrate the new house and all.
A house party? Tomorrow night? So soon?
Your father insists. You know how he is with events.
I knew exactly what she meant. He didn't like long relaxing periods between important events. It was slightly messed up. I was expectant to act on the drop of the dime. From moving immediately the day after a funeral to my grandfather's house, to now organizing a party. I know. Well, since I don't exactly have you two here to help me arrange it, I'm going to need some time to prepare things.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, Suzu and Naomi can help. I have work, and you know how your father is.
He's a dick. I know. I have to do it myself. He won't help.
I'm sure it'll be amazing, honey. I have faith in you.
Thanks, Mom.
All right, I gotta go. I love you, sweetie.
I love you too, Mom. Great. Now how am I going to do this?
Is something wrong?
She has to organize a house party.
Oh, Damien.
For her parents.
Huh? How did you... Oh, right, mind reading. But yeah, I gotta do it as soon as I gotta do it soon, or my parents will be really disappointed. I'll have to stay up and organize everything tonight.
Hey, why don't we help you? That's what we're here for, right?
I don't see why not.
I can name a few reasons why we shouldn't.
Sam?
Back off.
We'll take care of everything, miss. Just leave everything to us.
That was surprising. I didn't think the boys would offer to help me off the bat. I couldn't help but smile. I was actually rather thankful now that I let them stay. Now I didn't have to do everything alone. As I kept thinking about it, I couldn't help but yawn.
Feeling a little tired over there, princess?
Yeah. It's been a long day. At least tomorrow's the weekend so I can sleep in. Then it hit me. Wait, where are all you gonna sleep?
We found some guest rooms on the opposite end of the house from the master bedroom. I'm sure those will do just fine.
Oh, got it. Alright then, I'm heading to my room to study and sleep. I guess I'll see you all tomorrow?
Have a good night.
I will, you too. With that, I left the dining room and went to my room.
Erik, no.
What? I wasn't going to do anything.
Oh my god, was he gonna follow me?
Yes, he was.
Shh!
As soon as I got into my room, a wave of exhaustion hit me. Why am I so tired all of a sudden? I just woke up from that nap. I dragged myself to my bed and hauled up one of my bags. I opened it and grabbed my economics books, knowing that no matter how tired I was, I had to study at least a page or two before sleeping at last. Should I say sleeping at night? Okay. The words on the page scrambled my mind as I read through them, but after 2 or 3 tries, I managed to understand what the page was about. Equations. Ugh. Finally, I decided to change into my pajamas and head to bed. Today has been a long day, and I needed to rest. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. 3 days of surprise in a row would kill me. With that thought in my mind, I drifted to sleep, embracing the darkness of slumber.
You fucking pretty boys think you're all that, huh? Well, save that to the end of my pistol!
What the fuck? Huh? What's going on? I couldn't move my body. I felt like I was tied up, and I couldn't see anything beyond the darkness surrounding me. Yet I could hear the sounds of a heated argument coming coming at me from all directions.
One move and she gets it!
Let her go!
Matthew?
Come on, chicken shit. Fight us like a real man.
Like you scare me, Sam! Come on! Take one step, I dare ya.
Why can't I see?
Stay away from her, Malix!
And what are you gonna do, nerd boy?
Suddenly, I felt myself being pulled to one side, and my arms wrapped around my body protectively.
I've got you. Don't worry.
Oh, Erik! Huh? Erik? As I was held in a tight embrace, I felt the world around me once again settle into a low, peaceful hum. The hostility of the dream before had faded into black, and as the arms around me rocked me comfortably. Slowly through, my eyes fluttered open, and I looked up at the person holding me. Damien? I stared into the eyes of Damien. His face was painted with worry and concern, and I know he must have seen my dream. Why did I dream of Erik holding me, though?
You can't control your dreams.
Oh, well, I guess you're right.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. What time is it?
It's 9 a.m. James and I were making breakfast when I, well...
You can't control your mind reading?
No, not yet at least. I hope to learn eventually, though.
Is everything alright?
Huh? Yeah, I'm alright.
That's good. I'm assuming you had a nightmare.
Yes, I'm sorry for disturbing you both.
You didn't disturb us, miss. Besides, we'd rather make sure you're okay before anything.
Aw, what a sweetie. Oh, thank you.
Now, why don't you come downstairs with us and have some breakfast? I'm sure some nice food will take your mind off of what you dreamt of.
It was embarrassing to be a damsel in distress once again, but I felt rather happy that James and Damien were concerned for me, despite only knowing me for a short time. I wasn't sure if it was just courtesy or if they were just genuinely concerned. I couldn't exactly read their minds. Alright. The 2 boys led me back to the dining room where the smell of bacon and eggs danced in the air. The smell wafted from the kitchen and made its way into the room, making my stomach growl in need. Breakfast smells good!
We should be done with breakfast soon. If you want to sit down at the table, you can.
Damon's really interesting character that he can read minds. But I'm really curious as to what the other the other incubi's powers are. I nodded before sitting down. As I sat down, however, my mind drifted back to the dream I had. That feeling of hostility around me made my body shudder instinctively, even though I knew it wasn't real. However, as my eyes closed, I felt a hand placed itself on top of my head, breaking me out of my thoughts. Huh?
Morning. You alright?
God. Yeah, I'm fine. Sam, the owner of the hand on my head, raised an eyebrow at me before rustling my hair and moving away to sit down at the table. He then barked towards the kitchen where James was working.
Hey! Is the food done yet? I'm starving!
There's no need to yell, Sam!
You're yelling too!
Don't argue with me!
Oh my god. From behind me, Erik appeared and sat beside me, rubbing his temples in obvious ignorance.
Can we not yell this early in the morning? It's not like we're in the castle.
Castle? For some reason, when I heard the word castle, I couldn't help but yell in surprise. These guys had a castle? Sam looked at me and smirked at my reaction.
Yeah, we have a castle back home. Our dining room's 10 times bigger than this room.
And wouldn't it be logical to not yell?
Whatever.
Soon, James and Damien appeared, hands full of plates that carried bacon, eggs, toast, and waffles. They placed the plates down by each seat before seating themselves.
My favorite.
Oh my god.
Finally.
Thank you for the breakfast. It looks amazing.
It's our pleasure.
The freaking ringtone. I love this song now. All of a sudden, my phone began to ring, ushering me to pull it out from my pocket and answer. Hello?
Hey, good morning. Guess who's at your door right now?
Right on cue, there was a knock from the lobby door. My heart stopped. Zuzu and Naomi were here.
I'll get it.
My heart quickly began to pound in my chest. Matthew was in the lobby, and he'd get to the door first. I instantly jumped out of my chair and rushed out of the dining room. As I passed through the archway between the dining room and the lobby, I saw Matthew reaching his hand for the brass door handle, causing the world to go into slow motion. Matthew, don't! Before my words could reach his ears, Matthew had opened the door and revealing the surprised faces of Naomi and Zuzu. Uh-oh. The world had stopped around me, as Zuzu and Naomi kept their eyes on Matthew, who was merely staring back in fear and embarrassment. I could feel the air go from warm to freezing in a matter of seconds. This is so awkward.
Hi?
I could not believe what was happening. How was I going to explain this? This week was already bad enough. To make matters worse, I was frozen in place. Please, for God's sake, someone do something other than stand there.
Who are you?
Zuzu, let me explain.
What's going on here?
Who's at the door, Matthew? Oh.
No, Erik, please don't. Soon the other incubi appeared in the lobby with us. The situation was not getting prettier. I had to think fast. They're visitors, they're my brothers, they're in your head. I'm gonna say they're visitors, because it's kind of awkward to say they're brothers.
Then why did one of them open the door?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
It was no use. There was no time to lie to them. I felt helpless. Then I felt a hand on my shoulder as I felt the tension in my body almost fade away. I turned my head to see James smile at me before stepping in front of me.
We must apologize, ladies. We know the situation must be confusing for everyone. Let's take this to the dining room and we'll explain everything.
Is he gonna say they're incubi? That's kind of like... I stared at James wide-eyed. Was he gonna tell them who they were? Everything seemed surreal.